If someone had watched just those 5 overs of the Bangalore batting and the 3 overs of their bowling, it would have been very easy to conclude for them that this was headed just one way. It's what happened after that early burst with both the bat and the ball that will give a lot of teams hope that well begun, as they say, is half done, but it's only half the job done. Just like batters have been practicing their range hitting, the sense I get is that teams are now picking a couple of bowlers to bowl at specific stages of the innings, at specific kinds of batters as well, and on specific areas of the pitch. And if that's what they want to keep doing as a part of their cultural shift towards not taking a step back, then full power to them. Sometimes you will shock the world by grabbing 3 wickets in an over, and some other times the world will probably shock you by smashing you for 39 in your first 2 overs. Then even saying that Ayush Matre is somewhat of a Sanju Samson clone the way he bats. In the first game of the day, RCB looked to have gotten off to the kind of start they needed. With both the bat and the ball, a score of 52 without loss in 5 overs with a strong bottom-handed batter still to follow meant that they were probably looking at a mountain of a chase. And when they bowled during that chase, Bhuvi blew a gaping hole in the top order with the wickets of Pathum Nasanka, Karun Nair and Sameer Rizvi, all in a matter of 17 balls. If someone had watched just those 5 overs of the Bangalore batting and the 3 overs of their bowling, it would have been very easy to conclude for them that this was headed just one way in their favour with another win for Bangalore. That's not what happened though. RCB still lost the game, and given how they have gone this season and the in-form resources that they possess, it's a bit of a surprise, isn't it? It's what happened after that early burst with both the bat and the ball that will give a lot of teams hope that well begun, as they say, is half done, but it's only half the job done. And that T20s also give enough opportunities to make comebacks into the game, which probably wasn't the case or even the thinking earlier, when I'm talking about earlier, say 3, 4, 5 years earlier. In fact, it was a day on which the story repeated in the second match as well. Sunrisers Hyderabad, who have once lost a game this season from having built a 95 for no loss kind of a start in the power play, looked to be headed that way again against the Chennai Super Kings. Hyderabad in this one had romped to 75 for no loss in the power play with 2 balls left, and then sort of ish collapsed. They did collapse and then they recovered to make 194. Well, okay, it was not that bad a score, but even Hendrik Klaassen admitted at the halfway mark that they had fallen about 10 runs short of par. In response, in 4 overs, CSK was 60 for 1. And it's not even funny anymore how easily batters just open the bodies up and whack them over extra cover or over third man. But that's another topic for another day. 60 for 1 in 4 overs became 111 for 3 in 10. Meant that they just needed 84 in the final 10 overs. And SRH still won. Now, this isn't a trend or a pattern, but in some of the matches, and this probably includes both these games played yesterday, batting in the power play is exponentially easier than that in the middle order or sometimes even in the slog phase. The pitch probably slows down a little as the balls go softer, or it's a case of bowlers finding it easier to bowl their go-to deliveries with those extra fielders outside the circle. Just like batters have been practicing their range hitting, the sense I get is that teams are now picking a couple of bowlers to bowl at specific stages of the innings, at specific kinds of batters as well, and on specific areas of the pitch. CSK may have lost the game, but their bowling was an apt example of this. They have obviously Anshul Kamboj, Gurjapneet Singh, and Jamie Overton, who, will do exactly what they have done all tournament. Kamboj and Gurjapneet seem to have honed their wide Yorker bowling skills. Gurjapneet also bowls a good slower ball. Overton will deliver a mix, but with some reliance on the cross-seam heavy balls, short of length at good pace, and that's worked really brilliantly for him. He was a standout bowler even yesterday. It's some way to go before these 3 can count as elite in this format. You will have the batters come back better prepared and their true test will happen at that time. But from what one is watching right now, it does bring some parity between the bat and the ball. The operative word here is some. But the bottom line here is that the emergence of those 3 make for an interesting viewing when it comes to CSK in the games to come this season. I wouldn't count CSK just out just yet. Getting back to the first game of the day, I thought the RCB batters had a bit of their own hand in collapsing to 175 after reaching 105 for 2 in the 11th over. They seem to have set their eyes on 230. every batter that came in and tried his hand at doing arguably what they had been doing so well so far. Rajat Patidar, Tim David, Romario Shepherd, all falling to expansive shots that on another day might have even earned them the big runs. And if that's what they want to keep doing as a part of their cultural shift towards not taking a step back, then full power to them. There will be such games in which neither of these batters, it will be probably rare as it happened yesterday, but neither of the batter will come off. But more importantly, yesterday's Tim David dismissal was particularly fascinating to watch because it seemed like he had made up his mind to target Akshar Patel, and Akshar Patel is no mean bowler to go after. He had Jitesh Sharma at the other end, so he had a proper batter at the other end. He refused the single of the first ball, and then almost as if to prove a point, he went for a hike across the line to ball which was slower and slightly outside the off. It didn't come off. The rest of the Bangalore innings also fell apart quickly after that. Over in the Hyderabad game, sometimes, you feel that you are the pigeon and sometimes you feel that you are the statue. Sometimes you will shock the world by grabbing 3 wickets in an over, and some other times the world will probably shock you by smashing you for 39 in your first 2 overs. That's life and that's cricket at some level. And that's what seems to have happened to Praful Hinge yesterday, who ended up conceding 60 from his 4 overs after the kind of sterling debut that he had had in the previous game, having won the Player of the Match award there as well. The other star from Hyderabad's previous game was Saqib Hussain, who proved to be the sturdier of the two players, bowling some tough overs and finishing with 1 for 32 from his 4. Hussain's slower balls, which have become kind of famous now, haven't been easiest to pick. And when he truly cranks them up, he has sent down deliveries at over 140 clicks as well. He also runs in slow, but garners enough momentum at the end, giving the impression of being one of those extremely fit characters who would probably even chase down the ball of his own bowling on a hot and humid day. And that would be really fascinating to see how it goes. Now, I've been pointing to how overs 5 and 6 in the power play have proved to be turning points at times this IPL. But how about yesterday? When the last 2 balls, not 2 overs, last 2 balls of the power play looked to have done almost just that. Hyderabad were coasting at 75 for no loss in 5.4 overs, and 2 balls later had fallen to 75 for 2 at the end of the 6th. So that would be interesting to watch. Not just 2 overs, what happens in the last 2 balls. And lastly, does anyone think that Ayush Matre is somewhat of a Sanju Samson clone, the way he bats? The same opening of the stands to hit the ball over the offside, the same method of pulling and hooking, similar height and build too? Or is it that more and more batters are looking like exactly the same because that's the way they're batting? Let me know in the comments. Till next time, bye-bye.